Hello and welcome to The Next Big Star. I'm your host, James Kelly, and my guest today is Josh Edelman. And Josh, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're going to be talking about a new game that you created. So before we get into that, how about you give me a little bit of your background, where you're from, family, and then we'll talk about how you got into doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally from a small town called Milford, Pennsylvania, in the northeast corner of Pennsylvania, right on the border of New York and New Jersey.
I actually know someone from Milford.
You really?
I really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is it?
His name was Paul, and he and his wife were good friends with mine in Florida, and they used to fly down in the wintertime. They would fly from Pennsylvania down to Florida and spend time there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
He actually used to build his own planes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up there, and at a young age, I developed a love for the Latin culture.
Okay.
I'm 100% white American. My parents they don't speak any Spanish. They're white. My dad's from Queens, New York. My mom's from California. But I developed a good friendship and a bond with Latinos at a young age with some friends, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and other kids at a summer camp I used to go to. And even in my town of Milford, I developed this passion for the language, the culture, and I wanted to learn it. I wanted to master it and speak Spanish with everybody. And so growing up, that was a big part of my life. Later on, I went to the Air Force Academy because I knew I wanted to serve in the military, but at the same time, I wanted to be able to travel, especially to South Americans, all these countries that speak Spanish. I had a passion for traveling, while at the same time having a passion to want to serve my country, especially after September 11th, which was a big impact in my community, being close to New York City. So I was able to combine those two passions and continue a love for the Latin culture.
Okay.
And that's between food, music, the people, the language, and then dancing. And eventually I found a passion for salsa dancing during one of my trips with the Air Force in Panama. And since then, it's been a continual growth of my love for this culture and the people, and just being able to understand all these different cultures and connect with people all over the world, not just from the Air Force, but my personal travels and my personal hobbies.
But I'm sure the Air Force has given you a lot of opportunity for travel as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so whether it was mandatory travel for deployment or for a certain mission, or extra assignments that I was able to take for my education or something special with the Air Force, I've been taking every opportunity I can, and it's been a pretty awesome journey so far.
So how many years with the Air Force?
So I've been in since 2013.
Okay.
I entered the Air Force Academy in 2013, and I did 4 years there, which is you receive your bachelor's degree, but also your commission, and your commission is when you become an officer.
All right.
So I do my time as cadet for 4 years, and then I commission as a second lieutenant in 2017. And since then, I've been stationed in several different states, Colorado Springs, South Carolina. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, which was beautiful.
It is.
I was in Spain for a little bit. I got to go to Uruguay. I've been traveling over South America on certain missions. I was in Texas for a bit, then Afghanistan, and now I'm here in Las Vegas.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll be here for a while.
I hope so too. At least another 2 years. Maybe longer, we'll see how things work out, but I've really enjoyed Las Vegas.
Yeah, and we kind of know some of the same people, actually, by coincidence.
Yep, small world.
Yeah, it is small world. So the dancing part, when did you take a kin to wanting to start with the dancing? I mean, what led up to that? How did that happen?
So it was 2015. I was in Panama on about a 2-week trip with the Air Force, and it was for a language course, advanced Spanish course that we were doing. And one night, it was me and a couple other folks. We went out for a salsa class, and it was kind of a joke at the time. It was like, let's go do this. Well, I fell in love with the class. I went out that night, went to a salsa club, and I was like, wow, this is cool. This is different than just a normal nightclub. There's something special and unique about this atmosphere and this community of people. So I got back home and I started taking classes infrequently, maybe once or twice a month. And I kept it on the DL. I didn't really tell anybody about it. But it wasn't about until 2 years later when something clicked inside of me, and I said, I'm gonna go all out in salsa. I went to a big festival. I met some incredible people, danced all night long at these events. And from that point on, I said, I need to get good. I love this.
So since you're in the military, did you have to take any flack for wanting to be a salsa dancer?
I did, yeah, and I still do. For people who don't know me, I say, hey, I do salsa dancing on the side after work and at night and on the weekends. They're like, oh, I do salsa dancer. I've actually received a lot of support, but initially sometimes it's a funny conversation because it's not common that a military guy is a salsa dancer too. So,
right, and I was talking to, you met Mrs. Claus when you were coming in today. Her name is Nancy Jean Gray. And we were talking before you, because I knew you were going to be here and I was telling her you're going to be here. And we were talking about dancing and how, there's a misconception about how hard it is to do that. I mean, you have to really be physically fit to do the salsa dancing. I mean, it's not just something anybody can just go out there and do. You really have to be in shape for it. If you're not, you're going to have to get in shape.
Before salsa dancing, I was running on the treadmill. I was doing my cardio every day. But once I found salsa dancing, I had to do that because I was dancing. I mean, we dance 5-6 hours a night, and you're nonstop moving, and you're drenched in sweat. Sometimes you have to change your shirt in between dance. You had to go change your shirt because it's a workout.
Yeah.
And there's so many benefits with dance that I've just absolutely loved. But yes, the workout part
It's
is
probably one of the best exercises you could do.
It is. You're moving your entire body. You're nonstop.
So the salsa dancing is something that you're actually pursuing a career in?
Yes and no. So it is a major passion of mine, and it is something that is always going to stay with me. I have some big goals with the salsa dancing scene and the community. The dance community is international, and you can find salsa dancing everywhere you go. And I've been fortunate enough with the Air Force, as I travel, I find these communities of salsa dancers, and I've been able to build a name for myself. And while I'm still early in my salsa dancing years compared to the professionals, I've been able to grow pretty quickly regarding my passion and, I guess, unique story, because it's, like I said, it's not too common that an Air Force officer is a salsa dancer. You know, typically it's a Latin, Latinos, it's a Latin-based community. But being a little different, it kind of has brought me a little more attention than the normal person, I guess you could say.
Okay. So you're pursuing acting as well, I know that.
Correct.
So your main ambition, I mean, we know you're career military. As of right now, you're still career military.
Correct.
Dancing is something that's in your blood now.
Correct.
Acting, it looks like it's up and coming as well. So what direction do you think you're going to be taking in life? Where are you going with this?
So that's
you're still fairly young.
Right. I recently turned 27. And to be honest with you, James, I really don't know where I'm meant to be still. Okay. And that's the fun part, because I'm doing all these different things, and I'm slowly finding where I'm fit in, but it hasn't clicked just yet. But I know salsa dancing has opened up a lot of opportunity for me already, just from the people I've met and the different opportunities I've seen. Acting I love too, and I've always been into movies, and I used to do, in high school, I did some musical theater, and so being on the stage and being an entertainer of some sort has always been a passion of mine. Salsa dancing just happened to combine my interest with the Latin culture and the workout, and it combined it into one. And so that's something that I've been really focused in on. But to answer your question, a specific route, I don't have a straight answer yet.
But you did answer it in a good way, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you said right now you're not sure. You're just having fun with everything. And I think that's probably the best way to attack life in general. If you're not having fun with what you're doing, you're going in the wrong direction. You need to enjoy what you're doing and have fun with it. And that's the great thing, because you don't know where that's going to lead. And almost that makes it exciting, because you really don't know. Right. And knowing you were in a film that I know about that was done here, it was a small film, but then there's other things coming along down the pike, I'm sure. And that's exciting in itself, and like that whole journey can be so much fun. And it actually can happen faster than you think as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've done anything else since then or not.
I have not, no.
Okay.
But I'm looking to just get into another one soon.
We need to get you involved in the acting scene here in Las Vegas. Well,
absolutely.
That's easy to do. We'll get you going on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what life is about, is journey. You have to make it a journey and something that's fun. And if you're not having fun with it, you're kind of wasting your time. I know so many people who will go down a career path because that's what the family wants them to do, or they feel like they have to do it. And a lot of times they're really not happy in life because of that. Mm-hmm. But if you can just do what you're passionate about, I don't see how you could possibly go wrong. Even if you've never become, the Bradley Cooper or whatever, sure. The point is that having fun along that journey is what it's really about.
Absolutely. And James, I've never thought in a million years I'd be a salsa dancer, or that would be a life-changing passion of mine. I grew up playing sports, dance never crossed my mind until I came across a class in Panama, and my life has changed because of that. And so I've been telling people recently, when they ask me, how do you find all these things? I just say, try all the different things. Try different things. You never know when you're going to find something that you love.
Well, what you did is a little different than what a lot of people would do too, is that you didn't listen to society or the norm. Because like you said, you are a military man, and I can see is where you would take some ribbing from what you're doing. But you didn't let that stop you. It was your passion that drove you to continue to do what you're doing. And it's like, I take whatever ribbon they give me because I love doing this and I'm going to do it. And I think that's what we have to realize in life. If you're afraid to put yourself out there, you're not going to go anywhere. It's just going to take you forever to try and accomplish anything. You just have to say, I'm me, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And just do it.
I love it. And originally I kept it on the DL when I started doing my salsa classes. I was like, I ain't telling anybody about this. I don't know what the military, what my buddies are going to say. So I kept quiet. But then once I fell in love with it, I said, I don't care. I'm going to let the world know. And I started filming videos of myself just for practice. I was posting videos of my friends. We were dancing, doing different routines. And then slowly but surely it came out. And then a couple of videos later that went viral. And so I blew up on social media for a bit. And most people know now at work.
There's a lot of people in Hollywood who probably have similar stories as far as taking the chance. But the one that everyone knows about is The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at this man. You would never think in a million years he would be an actor, knowing what his career was before he was an actor. And you'd never realize he had such a comedic timing either,
right.
But yet he never gave up on his passion, and he pursued that passion.
Mm-hmm.
And there again, that just shows you, enjoy what you're doing, keep moving forward. And I think he's the highest paid man in Hollywood right now. All because he's having fun.
And
doing what he wants to do.
He's a big inspiration. I watch his stuff almost daily, and I look up to him absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what's really important in life. So in addition to the dancing, in addition to the acting, you also created a puzzle. Tell me about that.
So I guess you could say I'm a entrepreneur of some sorts, at least a beginner in that world. So the game in front of you, James, it's called Loteria Boricua, and it's Puerto Rican bingo. So the story behind this is there's a bingo game that is based on Mexico, on Mexican words, and I used to play that all the time with friends. I had a good group of Mexican friends in Charleston and other places I've been, and I said, man, imagine if they made other countries. So I designed this game about Puerto Rico, having Puerto Rican friends growing up and being familiar with the culture, and then also knowing that Puerto Rico is the second largest Latino demographic. I figured this might be a hit. So I designed the game, all the images, the artwork is all of my original work. And it recently launched on Amazon just under 2 months ago, and it's been taking off and doing pretty well so far.
When it comes to the game itself, is it completely in Spanish?
It is, but I do have a translation card in English, so it describes what the words are and how you pronounce them and what they mean and what their significance is to Puerto Rico.
Is that included in the...
It is.
Okay.
On the back of the instruction sheet, there's a translation card, and it tells you how to say it and what it means.
So that could be fun because of the fact that not only are you learning a new game or a new way of playing bingo, but also you're learning a language at the same time.
Exactly, and I thought of Americans as well, or non-Spanish speakers who like to go to Puerto Rico. Hey, play this game, you might be able to learn a couple words. When you go to the island, you'll understand what they're saying, or at least some major icons or symbols of the island.
So I think it's a given that you've been to Puerto Rico.
Actually, I have not.
No way!
So I have a trip planned. I was actually going to go before COVID hit. I had a trip planned before COVID, and then it got bad in the military. Unfortunately, they shut us down from traveling.
Okay.
But I have a trip planned in January. I'm going to be meeting some people out there who have actually purchased my game, a smaller company that purchased my game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're going to love it. As we were talking before we went on air, I've been there.
Yeah.
So I loved it. That's one of my favorite places I've ever been to, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely are going to love it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming to go.
It's not a huge island, actually. You can literally travel from one end to the other easily in a day.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much on that small little island. It's amazing. They have this beautiful rainforest there. It's just incredible.
Mm-hmm. That's in my game too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to take a look because I haven't really looked at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, you're going to love it. Absolutely. And I'm glad you're going to get to go because you're so passionate anyway about this and that culture that you need. The only way you can really get a good flavor of that culture is to go there.
Mm-hmm. And the salsa dancing is good too. So.
Yeah. No, you're going to absolutely love it. Yeah, highly recommend it. So what is up next for you? Do you have any plans? What are your ambitions at this point? I know you want to act. We've got this game going. What do you see in the future with the game? Like, what do you...
So in regards to the game, my goal is to expand it. So if this continues to take off and be a hit, I would like to continue and make more games in Spanish language, representing other countries and partner with other people to highlight other cultures and countries. And that's a big, important aspect to me is understanding other cultures. And being in the United States, we have so many different groups, ethnic groups, demographics, and especially Latin. Latinos are a huge part of our country. And so if we can highlight more countries and teach people about other countries and cultures through a game or something fun where people bond over. I think that would, for me, that's my goal. I would love to see that.
And I think that people who don't travel miss out on life. And we have to be willing to expand our imaginations, our ideas of what other people are like. And the only way you can do that is by traveling. Because unless you go to these other countries, you really don't know anything. You can read all you want to,
Right.
and you can watch as many movies as you want to. But it isn't until you experience it yourself that you really have a good grasp or understanding of who those people are. And you really do realize we have a lot in common, more than people realize. That's why I like that you're doing this game. I really appreciate the fact that you did it in English and showed people how to pronounce the words in Spanish. Now, is that done phonetically or is it?
Phonetically, but
Okay.
I did it in my own style of phonetically of how you would say it in English. So
Okay.
I'm trying to think of an example, but
Well, you know what? The
Yeah.
Masked Singer was just on,
Mhm.
and Jewel won the Masked Singer. And she sang a song by Edith Piaf
oh yeah, okay.
in French,
Yeah.
and she did not speak French at all. She doesn't speak French at all. So she had to write the words down phonetically.
Okay.
And if you listen to her rendition of that song, it is spot on. So just doing that is going to be a great help to people by letting them say, okay, this is how you say it. Because they're going to see the words as well, how they're actually spelled in Spanish. But it doesn't even matter there. You actually can teach them how to talk and communicate just by doing it the way you're doing it, by phonetic spelling. So
Yeah,
it's going
absolutely.
to be a great asset to anyone who wants to learn Spanish or learn a new game.
And I had my parents do it too, and they don't know any Spanish, and they were able to say the words very well, pretty accurate.
Good, that's
So nice,
fantastic.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got a knack for this thing.
Yeah.
So we also talked about a little bit about, did you ever think about taking this digitally? Like
Not
creating
yet.
Digital.
It is in the back of my mind, but that is probably the next step as the game expands and grows, and I can invest more into the future of the game.
Okay.
The digital part is definitely a must.
Okay.
The world we live in now. So
All right, so this is the next big star. So I can already see you in several different directions. You can go in so many different directions here. Who knows if they all come together somewhere. They maybe do a movie on your game. But so you're going to come back in the future and we'll check on you and see where
Absolutely.
you are. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So it's Josh Edelman, and where can they find this on Amazon? What do they need to do?
All they gotta do is type in Loteria Boricua. So Loteria is lottery in English. That's the Puerto Rican lottery is what they call it. And you type it in, it should be one of the first things that pop up, or Puerto Rican bingo.
So if they started to type in LOTER, then the rest of it will just pop up? You
Should I would put maybe Boricua or Puerto Rican, the word Puerto Rico somewhere in there, and
Okay.
it should pop up.
Okay, all right.
Because Loteria is a common word. There's a lot of other games and products with that word. So
Do you sell this product anywhere in any of the stores or anything?
not yet. I have a couple in my house that I'll sell to locals or friends and family that reach out, but everything's on Amazon right now.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's going to be the same thing, loteriaboricua.com.
Okay. Would they be able to find that website under your name, under Josh Edelman?
They would if they link it to, if they go to my social media, they can find
Okay.
it from there.
All right.
Yep.
We want to give
Yeah.
people every
Yeah,
possible
absolutely.
avenue of
Yeah.
trying to find you.
Yep.
So, all right. So you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and I'm known as
What if someone put in salsa dancing?
Salsa Josh is my social media name.
Okay, so
So,
Salsa Josh.
That's actually what I'm known in the salsa dancing world. Hey, it's Salsa Josh or SJ. So it's sometimes SJ, but Salsa Josh is my name, my stage name, I guess you could say. You type that in, it'll be usually the first ones that pop up, and you can find all my information from there.
All right. Well, Josh, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you,
I appreciate it.
James.
Thank
Thank
you.